Regular season against the Texas Rangers. 57 degrees, feels like 52 near the lakefront here. With the wind out of the north at 24 miles per hour. A light rain. Weatherman says there will be rain in and around the vicinity throughout the evening as the White Sox take the field to get this game underway. Let's take a look at the Rays lineup presented by your Southern Ford dealers. Logan Forsythe will lead it off, and you're looking at Kevin Kiermaier, who returns to the Rays lineup tonight in center field. Evan Longoria will hit third and play third in front of Brad Miller, who's at shortstop. Corey Dickerson, who continues to swing a hot bat, in the lineup in left in front of Nick Franklin. He's been limited by that left hamstring strain. But in the lineup as the DH tonight, Mikey Montook is in right field. Richie Schaefer at first. He'll hit eighth in front of the catcher, Luke Maile.
Well, and I'll tell you, the Rays will be facing an old friend or an old adversary, if you will, here tonight in Miguel Gonzalez. Different uniform, but the Rays, listen, Miguel's had 15 starts against the Rays over his career, 6-4 with a 3.02 as it all of a sudden has opened up here.
And that was pretty much on cue from the weather forecast. It rained hard. It stopped raining for about a 20 to 25 minute period. And there was talk that near the scheduled game time, it was supposed to come back. Well, the rain has moved in here once again. And just as Gonzalez went out there to the mound to warm up, you could see significant rainfall here. So we'll see how long this lasts and how long this game can move forward as Logan Forsythe steps in.
Yeah, I lost my train of thought there. I was going to give a couple of nuggets on Miguel Gonzalez, and then all of a sudden you look out there and you can hardly see him.
First pitch of this game by Gonzalez, and that's a called strike. 7:31 the first pitch of this game rendered. See Gonzalez getting the sign, looking through the rain. 0-2 the count. Forsythe 3 of 12 in his career against Gonzalez. As you said earlier, BA, the Rays have seen a lot of this right-hander.
Yeah, they've got a tremendous scouting report. Like I said, 15 starts total. You know, and he's pretty traditional in how he's going to attack. Fastball, slider, a little splitter for the changeup, and a curveball.
It's fouled back. Gonzalez, born in Guadalajara, Mexico, has made his home in Lakewood Ranch. 32 years old, and last year with the Orioles won 9 and lost 12 in 26 starts. Line drive down to third, caught by Frazier. That's the first out as this game is underway.
Well, isn't that the story of the series so far for the Rays? A hard hit line drive right to Frazier. Let's take a look at the rest of that White Sox defense, brought to you by Golden Diamond Source. In the outfield, left to right, we've got Jason Coates, Lurie Garcia, and Avi Garcia. Across that infield, third to first, Todd Frazier, of course, Tim Anderson, Carlos Sanchez, and Jose Abreu. Kevin Smith behind the plate.
Well, here's Kevin Kiermaier back in the lineup. He takes the pitch for a strike. One. Tap down the first base side. Abreu unassisted. Couple of outs here to start this game on the line drive by Forsythe and the bouncing ball by Kiermaier.
I'm anxious for tonight, Dwayne. Anxious. Last Web Wednesday.
Yes.
And last night, well, I shouldn't say we. I won't throw you into that group. I challenged the fans about the questions, and I got to say this: the one thing that we know about our fans is that they will respond.
It's a curious group.
They'll come up big.
Yep.
And so I can't wait to see what they come up with.
Evan Longoria takes the pitch upstairs, 1-0.
Because we could be here a while.
Ground ball, back of third, backhanded by Frazier. His throws on the money. 3 up and 3 down go the Rays, and we head into the bottom of the first. No score. The bottom of the first. Take a look at the White Sox lineup. Presented by your Southern Ford dealers. Tim Anderson, Leori Garcia, and then Jose Abreu. Melky Cabrera is the DH hitting cleanup in front of Todd Frazier. Bobby Garcia is in right. Carlos Sanchez at second. Jason Coates in left hitting eighth. And Kevin Smith, the catcher, bats ninth. All against Blake Snell. First pitch from Snell is a high fastball in from the mid-90s. Line drive right at Longoria. There you are.
It's the same way the Rays half started out. Leadoff hitter, hard line drive right to the third baseman. Let's do a 2-shot. Just take one. Didn't even have to move.
Well, here's Garcia, switch hitting outfielder, and he's had a good series already last night with a triple and a home run. A couple of runs batted in. And that pitch is by him.
A little slider right there by Blake Snell.
Garcia had a base hit, the run scored on Monday. We saw a little bit more of the slider in his last outing.
Yeah, that was a pitch that he became very fond of. He was throwing it harder, and I think that gave him a little bit of a confidence boost. You know, all of a sudden now you've got this new toy, a harder slider. You feel good about it. You want to use it. I think 5 shutout innings. It wasn't easy. He had to battle in that game, but battle he did.
Upstairs, 1-2. The rain delayed this game. Started at 7:31, and just before the first pitch, it began to rain again. The ball, 2 strikes. Cut and a miss. Garcia's out on strikes, and there's that slider again.
Yeah, and you could see Blake Snell very excited with that strikeout. Look at how he drives it downhill, and then that late break down and in. That's a perfectly placed slider coming from a steep angle. Boy, that's going to be, I'll tell you, a tough pitch for hitters to deal with. You get that little bit of depth with it, but then it's where it's coming from, because Blake, tall, lanky, and is, you know, somewhat up over the top.
Jose Abreu.
He may try to throw it every pitch tonight.
Well, he's thrown a couple of pretty good ones.
We're going to be getting the tarp here in a minute.
It's a fastball, 96, 97 in that vicinity. 1-1 count. It has been more than just a steady rain. It is coming down harder right now. Upstairs, 2 balls and a strike. Two. Blake Snell from Washington State, not altogether unfamiliar with this kind of weather. Would prefer not to have to pitch in it. It's a tap. Snell's got it. A little toss there to Schaefer. 1-2-3 go the White Sox onto the second scoreless. Follow Rays Baseball Live with the MLB.com at-bat app. Stay up to the moment and any moment with Game Day. Live game video highlights, StatCast, news, and a lot more. Download MLB.com at-bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and tablet. Umbrella's a necessary part of watching this game if you're in Chicago tonight. Brad Miller hitting cleanup, leads it off for the Rays. It's upstairs. Miller, then Dickerson and Franklin. Brad getting a look here at Gonzalez. Not a lot of at-bats with Gonzalez being in the American League East all those years with the Orioles, and Miller in the West with Seattle. Brad just 0 for 3 in his career against Gonzalez. Foul out of play the other way. Fastball.
As you can see, Miguel Gonzalez, he tries to keep things simple. Mechanically, straight up and down, very little wasted movement. He's a guy that's going to rely upon moving the ball around the strike zone. He's got to be fine with his command. But he's one of those starters. I remember when he was with the Orioles, and Buck Showalter really liked him because he was a guy that would come right after you. Doesn't have the most imposing of stuff, but he attacked you like he did. Very aggressive.
It's a foul driven up the left side, well back into the stands.
Can you imagine that tonight this is all that you wanted to do, is come to this game?
There's a pop-up, shallow center. Anderson out from shortstop, and now coming in from center, Garcia takes care of that. Well, let's check in with Todd, because he's certainly here tonight on this rainy night.
Wet hair. Where are you?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Here are some of the questions, guys. By the way, about 75% are non-baseball related so far, so the viewers are listening. Tonight is our final Web Wednesday. You are encouraged to ask any question, but especially non-baseball ones. Like Joey wants to know, if you guys were reincarnated as an animal, what would you choose to be? Simon is in London. He said, if we have a series of baseball games in London with the Rays involved, would you guys look forward to coming over? Julie said, hey, if anything's on the table, can you pass my number to Kevin Kiermaier? One for Brian. Eddie and Doreen want to know if the Browns can win at least 3 games. And one for Dwayne. Steve wants to know your favorite memory or story you can share on the air about Harry Carey, since we are in Chicago. Guys, back to you. That's a lot of early.
Wow, well, a lot of stuff going on early.
You can count. They come through.
Yeah, they do.
When they're challenged,
it's great.
They come through every time.
Yeah. Well, the London one's easy. Sure, we're ready to go.
That would be a blast.
Yeah.
That would be a blast. I don't think I would actually do the games. I would just go to visit.
Yeah. So we've checked that one off.
I mean, we could do the loop around Big Ben, Parliament, maybe more than once.
Yeah. Yeah. Go to the British Museum. I was admonished there one time because I put my foot on a bench. Yeah.
Yeah, they frown upon that. Very, they're sticklers for, protocol.
There's a popper into short left. Coates out there. Oh, he makes the catch. Not going to be easy staring up into those raindrops. 2 up and 2 down in the second inning.
What animal would you come back
Yeah,
as?
that's, those questions, I couldn't give you any decent answer.
I can't.
I mean, horses are great. I love horses. They'd be great. Problem is, they're prey animals. So you always have to be on the alert, waiting for,
You'd be looking
a big
for
cat
me.
or something.
Yeah,
I'd be looking for you. You would be the cat jumping on the back of the horse.
No, you actually probably wouldn't look for me. You know what I would come back as?
Tell me.
I would come back as a bald eagle.
Bald eagle.
Bald eagle.
Yeah.
They are
aloof and iconic,
majestic
all at the same time.
And they can give you a look. there's a music video by a group called Five Finger Death Punch.
Yep.
Great name, I guess. I mean, Five Finger, it just gets right to the point.
Yep.
But at the very end, there's a shot of a bald eagle making a hard left turn towards the camera. You talk about don't mess with. Oh, I love it.
But you're such a friendly guy. You're so accommodating.
It's been a long year, Dwayne. There's a lot going on.
2-1.
I will shake anybody's hand. I'll still do that.
I know.
I'm
fully aware of that here in Chicago. Little ground ball. Gonzalez will take it in himself, and that is out number 3. We're through an inning and a half. No score. Rays and the White Sox, no score.
Well, let's take a look at the Rays defense. Brought to you by Golden Diamond Source. In the outfield, left to right, we've got Dickerson, the return of Kevin Kiermaier and Mikey Motz hooking across the infield, third to first. Longoria, Miller, Forsythe, and Richie Schaefer with Luke Maile getting the call behind the plate.
Well, here's Melky Cabrera, the subject of the Buick GMC big matchup. He's been red hot in September in the last 13 games especially. 346 with 11 runs batted in. 14 home runs on the year. And hitting from the right side against Blake Snell, whose first pitch is in there for a strike. Cabrera, Frazier, and Javi Garcia due up for the White Sox. And a nice pitch on the breaking ball, curveball that time.
Yeah, he's come out mixing here tonight. We saw a lot of sliders early on. There's the fastball right to the curveball. And by the way, all of them in the strike zone and then take it out. I'll tell you, that's a great sequence there by Blake Snell. That's a confident pitcher that does what he just did there to Melky Cabrera. He just got done setting him up how hot he was, and he made him look very, very cold in this at-bat.
Look at this. Right down, bouncing that one in after getting ahead 0-2.
Yeah, and that's the key for him. That's one thing to look for is strike one with Blake Snell. Because if he's able to get strike one or not able to get strike one, the results after that are opposite ends of the spectrum. I mean, a lot of guys, they don't pitch out ahead. It's going to be rough for them. But with Blake, it's extreme.
And that can make such a big difference with him in regard to pitch count as well. And that's been an issue. He's pushing 19.5 pitches per inning.
Yeah.
So he'd like to start to whittle that down.
Well, you think about him, for a full season, in the big leagues as a starting pitcher. And so far this season, he's not even averaging 5 innings a start. And we're at start, where are we at
19.
now? Yeah, start 19. And he's averaging just a little bit more than 4 2/3 innings pitched per start for the season. And when you extrapolate that and take that out over a full season, you're going to need more innings than that. You will torch your bullpen if you've got a guy that is going 5 or a little bit, fewer than that every time he goes out.
Now 3-1. Out of play. So the count is full on Frazier. A couple of strikeouts for Snell in the early part of this game, facing just his 5th hitter. In on him, and a popper into short right. Montouk coming in is there, and he makes the catch. So 2 up and 2 down here in the bottom of the 2nd inning.
And I love the fact that he came back and got him. He fell down 2-0. That typically leads to bad things. And 3-1, no picnic either.
Yep.
But he comes right back and gets the soft pop out to right field.
Avisail Garcia, right fielder, 12 home runs on the year.
Say that 5 times fast.
Big right fielder, 12 home runs on the year.
That's why I just go with Avi. I tried Avisail in my room last night.
Yes.
Strong.
In front of a mirror. Strike the count on Garcia. Ball, 1 strike.
I picked some up at that 7-Eleven by the hotel, where you can get a little bit of everything.
Yes, I noticed that. Took notice of that. The bus stop's pretty busy over there. Now 1-2 the count. 2 up, 2 down. Strikeout of Cabrera, fly ball to right by Frazier. And time, a little long look in there by Snell, and Garcia asking for time. Rain has stopped, as predicted by our director Gary Nicholas. And as soon as his knee starts to hurt again, the rain will be right back. That pitch just missed. So it's a 2-2 count. Fans are starting to gather into the stands once again. So we're going to give them about 15 minutes until they start to run for cover again, according to our esteemed colleague and director Gary Nicholas.
He's been pretty on it so far.
He has. I've been impressed.
Yep.
So a full count. Ooh, just a little bit inside. Snell looking for that call, didn't get it.
This is the other thing that's hurt him as far as extending innings is the 2-out walk. He now has 51 walks on the season. 24 of them have come with 2 outs. That's almost half at this point. And that percentage has continued to climb, and that adds on pitches.
Carlos Sanchez, the second baseman. Sanchez with a double last night and a home run in the first game of the series on Monday. It's a pitch for a ball. Runner takes off, pitches a ball, and the throw down is right there to cut down Garcia. Caught stealing for the 4th time this year, and that retires Chicago in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Another look at the caught stealing. Through 2, no score. And the White Sox tonight playing in and around the rain. It has stopped for the time being. Mikey Montook leads off here in the 3rd and looks at a pitch down. A ball, no strikes. One and one.
Well, you know what? We never got to your question about good Harry Carey story. Now's as good a time as any.
Yeah, well, there are a lot of those.
Well, one that
without question.
Right.
Yep. Well, he was such a major factor here on both sides of town, as we know, south side and the north side. And one of his great expressions that was always right to the point that I love. We all know that he believed in being hydrated as much as possible.
Yeah. It's very important.
So he would always make sure that that was taken care of. Montook's out on a fly ball to center. And he did have a favored beverage. And he'd get right to the point and he would say, how can they make it so cheap and it tastes so good? And what you saw is what you got with him. I thought on the air as well as off the air. I really enjoyed and treasured the time I had here in Chicago. You know, I was in my 30s and no one really knew his age. He was that was a guarded secret. Pitches high to Richie Schaefer, but the one thing that did impress me, team would be on a road trip on the East Coast. You'd play in Philadelphia, maybe end a series there, a night game, and then the teams would bus to New York with a couple of buses, and away they go. Everybody's on the bus. So you've spent a full series in Philly. That's going to be a fair ball up the left field line by Schaefer. It'll kick out to Coates. Schaefer's on his way to second base ahead of the throw with his 5th double. Schaefer had 3 hits, including 2 doubles last night, and a double his first time up tonight. It's the first hit of the game, and he's in scoring position with 1 out. But you travel all the way after a night game long, maybe an extra inning night game in Philly, and so you'd hop on the bus and go to New York, and you'd get in there, and it's 2:30, and you've got all of these great young athletes. They're all asleep on the bus, and you'd pull into Manhattan, and before we get to the hotel, you'd hear Harry's voice summon the bus driver. Bussy, pull over and just let me out here. Well, it's 2:30 or 3 in the morning. It's been a long day. Everybody's tired and asleep on the bus. Harry's getting off because he knows of a spot that's open. And you see him, he gets off the bus, and the bus continues, and you see this figure walking off into the night in Manhattan. I mean, he never left anything here. He had as full a life as you could ever have, and I think that was true with him all the way to the very end. And what a great way to live. Pitch inside. 2-1 to count on Luke Maile. Ground ball. Backhanded Anderson deep from short. Scoop at first out there. And Schaefer moves up after the play. Anderson deep in the hole to take care of that ground ball off the bat of Luke Maile.
And we'll see if it holds up. Luke Maile kind of hanging out there. Boy, I thought this ball, number one, was going to get through. And even when it didn't, there's no way Anderson's going to throw him out, right? Let's take a look. There's the bounce, the scoop. Boy, that is awfully close. And I think the Rays are going to save this one. Yeah, that ball did just get there. Wow, what a play.
Well, enough rain falling on the infield to slow it just enough. But a great job by Anderson to get over there and then make the throw to first. There's Forsythe, top of the order, lifting a fly ball into right. Garcia is there making the catch on this one. Double and a man left on base. We go to the bottom of the third. No score. Mike Geico, a great moment on this day in 2005. Rays coming back from 7 runs down in the 8th, wind up winning on the Evan Longoria 12th inning walk-off homer. That improbable victory, clinching a postseason berth as Longoria joins Bobby Thompson with his shout heard round the world for the New York Giants in 1951 as the only players in Major League history to hit a walk-off home run in the last game of the regular season to send their teams into the postseason and the playoffs.
I can't believe it's been that long.
Yeah, it's amazing how quickly time flies. On the big home run by Dan Johnson, pinch hit home run. It tied the game. Carlos Sanchez was at the plate when Bobby Garcia was caught stealing to end the second. Sanchez begins the third. Coates and Smith to follow. Two and 0. It's a strike and it's 2 and 1. Upstairs. So Snell behind now 3 and 1. He had a 3-ball count on Frazier in the second, got him 3-2. On the pop fly to right, went 3-2 to Garcia, walked him. Now the foul ball, and the count goes to 3-2. So with that foul ball, 8 of his last 10 pitches have been out of the zone.
That's going to be something that Blake Snell's really going to have to focus on through the offseason workouts coming into spring training, because we've seen, well, go back to the sequence that he put together against Melky Cabrera. Let's just go fastball strike 1, a curveball strike 2, and then let's take the curveball out of the zone. Now you're not going to put them together like that every single time, but that just shows you what he's capable of. It gives you a glimpse where if he can pound the zone early, what he can do late. And that's the key. If not, then you end up falling behind, and here comes, you know, a fastball that, well, they, you know, right there, that's a good one, top of the strike zone. You get the swing and a miss, but too many 2-0, 3-1 fastballs that are predictable get hit hard.
Here's the fastball up and by Sanchez.
And if he can get that pitch down, I'll tell you, the top of the zone and just above, that's something that's going to take a lot of work, a lot of practice. That is command. Just because it's out of the strike zone doesn't mean it's not command and you don't want it there.
Jason Coates. 1-0. Coates hitting 191, but 8 out of 24 against left-handed pitching. Takes it into right center. That ball gets by Montook. He'll have to go to the fence to make the pickup. And Coates is in at second with a double.
That's exactly what you were talking about. He has had a nice little run against lefties. He got a pitch that was up and away there and showed a pretty quick bat. And this ball jumps into the gap. Boy, he hammered that thing. Able to get it by Montook. Very little there on the stride. Just kind of get the foot down in time and get it to the wall and right.
Kevin Smith, the catcher. Right back off the screen. Smith back with the White Sox here at the end of the year. He was recalled at the end of April and was set to make a start against Toronto, and then came up with a back problem and was disabled for about a month, and finally getting back to the big leagues now as the rain begins to fall again. 1-2 the count.
Yeah, it's coming down pretty hard again. And I've heard Gary was saying that that this cell's going to be here a while, and that's not good, because that's torrential right there.
Cut to miss. He chases the pitch up and is out on strikes.
That's it.
2 gone. And with the rain falling as hard as it is, play will be stopped once again. And the ground crew will scurry to cover the field. So we've gone just an out short of 3 innings here. 2 outs with a man on in the bottom of the 3rd as the ground crew rolls out the tarp. And it is raining hard right now. Rays and the White Sox scoreless. Take a break and be back in a moment. 2/3, and now Garten. Garten will inherit a runner. When we resume, Jason Coates will be at second base with 2 gone, and the top of the order will be up there for Chicago, Tim Anderson. And Garten comes on for the 36th time. Garten most recently pitched an inning in the first game of this series when the White Sox won 7-1. In fact, he was the only pitcher in that game not to give up a run, started by Drew Smiley. He was charged with 3, and then Garten followed by Jepson and Romero. Garten pitched 1 inning, gave up a hit, no runs, and picked up a strikeout.
Right there, pitching coach Jim Hickey, manager Kevin Cash, game planning how this game is gonna, I don't know exactly how they're gonna work it. Scoreless game right now, Garten on. You've got to piece together, you know, what you hope is another 6 1/3 innings.
Well, you know, the interesting thing about this, we have 2 outs in the bottom of the 3rd with a runner on, and I really haven't seen anybody warm up for the White Sox or even start to limber.
Well, you wonder if Miguel Gonzalez has stayed loose down underneath in the cages, and he's going to come back out and pitch, a veteran. And you know, a lot of times you get to his status time in the game, and you can talk yourself back out there on the mound, as opposed to Blake Snell. They're not going to take any chances with Blake. So that's why you probably don't see anybody warming up, and Miguel probably will take them out. If not, this is going to be a first. Someone's just going to come in and start winging it.
Yeah, I'll tell you, this will be a lengthy rain delay. It'll be close to an hour and 15 minutes. Tim Anderson steps in, all set to resume. And here is the first pitch from Garten. It's swung on and fouled out of play. We pick up play at 31 minutes past the hour. An hour and 16-minute delay. The start of this game was delayed by 21 minutes. Way high from Garten on that one. So rain has accounted for an hour and essentially 37 minutes of the time the Rays and the White Sox have been here trying to play the 3rd game of this series. Foul back, 1-2. Upstairs, 2-2. Anderson started the night hitting .278. Garcia on deck. Anderson had 3 hits last night, single, double, and a home run. Run the count to 3-2. Homered his last time up, hit a fastball out in the 8th inning last night. Connected off Chase Whitley, who, by the way, will start the last game of the year when this road trip moves into Texas. Fly ball center field. Kiermaier is there, and he puts it away to retire the side. Man left on base. We go to the 4th. No score. Into the fourth inning of this twice delayed game. Rays want to say thanks to everyone for your support this year, and a special thanks to the season ticket holders. Hoping you've enjoyed the new Rays Rewards program and the Republic Bank Draft Room. For info on how you can become a 2017 Rays season ticket holder, call 888-FAN-RAYS. Kevin Kiermaier leading off here has taken a pitch for a ball. And Miguel Gonzalez, after the lengthy rain delay, back out there.
It's a veteran move. Veteran move.
Well, you know what that's all about. You've done that.
I have. I had one start, and in fact, I think we may have even talked about it before in Cincinnati, where I had given up, I think, 2 runs.
That's a foul ball.
2 runs in the first 3 innings. And then we had and I'll check the exact number, but it was a 3-hour rain delay, plus or minus a couple of minutes.
Wow.
3-hour rain delay.
Long rain delay.
Yeah, and I told, it was Bob Brenly, and I said, I want to go back out there and pitch. And he said, you go back out and try to loosen up, and if it's good, then you can go. And I'm not kidding you. I went back out there and play catch, and the ball felt so good coming out of my hand. I threw 3 more innings, scoreless, and my velocity actually went up, if you can believe that.
Wow.
Not like I set the bar high anyway, but it literally, the second go-round, I felt way better.
Hey, speaking of, I'm not sure how good we're going to feel, but I saw a couple of umbrellas pop out here for a moment.
Oh, yeah.
Just a little bit of rain starting to fall. This one is lined foul up the right side, and a broken bat in the process by Kiermaier. So you actually felt better and threw harder after a rain delay of some 3 hours.
Yeah, I'm going to look that up to get the exact. But yeah, I did. I absolutely felt better. It was strange. It was really, really strange. But yeah, made me wonder if I shouldn't adjust my pregame routine. Come in early in the afternoon, throw a couple simulated hitters, go sit for a couple hours.
It's a whole new approach.
And get loose again.
Full count now. What'd you do during that rain delay?
Nothing. I was never a card player.
Yep.
A lot of guys play cards to pass the time. I'd watch some TV. Basically, that's it. Especially because you're trying to stay ready to stay in the game. You want to, you want to be back out there, and so you're just idle time. Maybe grab something to, grab something to eat and watch some TV and get ready to go.
Well, we picked up play here with Kiermaier leading off in the 4th. He has an 8-pitch at bat going right now, reintroducing Miguel Gonzalez to this game. After the layoff for Gonzalez, it was more than an hour and 16 minutes. High fly ball back to center. Garcia is there and makes the catch. He's going to get Evan Longoria to the plate. Evan has more at-bats against Miguel Gonzalez than anybody in the Rays lineup. All of that stemming from his time, Miguel Gonzalez, and his time with the Baltimore Orioles. Evan came into the game 8 of 33 with a home run off him. The pitch is a strike for Gonzalez. The delay was a full 90 minutes, an hour and a half between pitches. Oh, 2. Upstairs now. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Top of the 4th. A scoreless game. outside, 2-2. Having hitless last night before leaving the game early, it turned out to be a lopsided affair. He was 0 for 3 and is out on strikes, out number 2 in the 4th.
I'll tell you, how about the darting action on that fastball by Miguel Gonzalez at a pretty good clip. He's come back out throwing a little bit harder. This pitch right here, 93, with some good late riding action in on Longoria. Ties him up a little bit on that swing, and he picks up the second out. As you see, more rain.
Yeah, the rain peppering down there in that shot behind Gonzalez. Brad Miller. Fouls it back. Miller lifted a fly ball into center, worked the count full in the 2nd inning.
Guess who started that game for the Reds?
Your game?
Yeah.
Pitch inside.
Rob Bell.
Really?
Yes.
Rob Bell,
Yeah.
the former Ray. Yeah.
He went 3 and that was it.
He had a previous engagement, had to leave after 3. This one is down. 2 balls and a strike. Meyer out on a fly ball to center. Longoria has struck out swinging, and it's 2-1 on Brad Miller. That's the way to work your way through a night like tonight. Be positive about it, as those two fans. Plenty of the umbrella and the raincoats out.
That makes it a little easier.
And the full count again to Brad Miller.
The refreshment helps.
You got to stay warm.
You know that's a myth too. I read that. It's a total myth. See
Is
the
that,
thing.
yeah, well, you know, we talked about Harry earlier. Tough time convincing him of that.
Well, the thing is if there's enough involved, you don't, you feel warm. That doesn't mean you are.
I'm staying hydrated. 3-2 the count to Miller. And he takes strike 3. A 1-2-3 4th. We're headed into the bottom half of the inning. Scoreless. To the bottom of the 4th inning in Chicago. Greater coverage of baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. We'll take a look at the postseason hopes of these teams in the American League wild card chase. The Blue Jays beaten by Baltimore, up by a game. Baltimore second in the wild card right now, with a game at Toronto and 3 in New York against the Yankees. Then the Tigers, the Mariners, and the Astros all hoping somehow to stay alive. Garcia leading off the bottom of the 4th. The first pitch is a strike. A 1-2-3 inning for Gonzalez in the top. The 21 pitch inning. Garcia puts down the bunt, bunting foul. Abreu will be next, and then Cabrera. Jose Abreu on deck. Upstairs. 1-2. Chopper by the mound. Pickup made by Forsythe. And his throw in time to get Garcia, keeping the leadoff man off the bases. Neither team has been able to put the leadoff man on so far. The only hit given up by Blake Snell was a double by Coates. The Rays only hit a double by Richie Schaefer. Both Coates and Schaefer the 8th placed hitters in their respective lineups tonight. And here's the danger is Jose Abreu. This pitch is a strike. 25 home runs and 98 runs batted in.
We have 14 of those home runs have come from the beginning of August. He's really turned things around, got off to a slow start, and has really cranked it up. And you know, he's a guy that, well, he came out a couple of years ago, 36 home runs.
Yeah, he wasted no
driven
time.
in. Rookie year.
He showed up here and was dominant at the plate and is out on strikes right here. First strikeout for Garten. Yeah, Abreu showed up and hit 36 home runs 2 years ago in 2014. Hit 30 last year with over 100 RBIs in both seasons. And strikes out here. 25 homers and 98 runs batted in for him. With just a few remaining games left of this season. Here's Melky Cabrera. He takes a strike.
Well, the one thing that the Rays have been able to do to him is get him to expand his zone. You know, they've attacked him early. They've kept the pitches away from him and then down and out of the zone. Every once in a while pop one up in the zone. And they've had some good success against him. And that's, you know, that's the key. You know, one of the things they say about, you know, Abreu, that he's very good at making adjustments, even in-game adjustments. And that's what gives you a chance in this league. Got to be able to adapt, because it won't take very long. A guy gets off to a great start, whether it's a pitcher or a hitter, and you know, all of a sudden adjustments are made. Okay, wait a minute. This is the weak spot. Let's pound that, see what he can do there. And all of a sudden you find guys start to struggle. There's an ebb and flow to the game.
Yeah, you have to be able to cover more than one little spot on the plate in that zone.
Every hitter is going to have a hole or holes. You attempt to make them as small as you possibly can.
Foul out of play. Cabrera came into the game hitting .297. A 2-run home run last night when the White Sox jumped out in front 3-0 in the first. Chops this one foul in behind Joe McEwing. Still 1-2. Foul ball up the right side. Well, that's 5 foul balls in this at bat. Cabrera extending the at bat against Garton, but down 1-2. This will be the 8th pitch of the at bat coming. He fouls it again.
Yeah, how? And he just slapping at the ball there, trying to do anything to stay alive. Talked about how well he's been swinging the bat here recently. And look at this, just cutting in on him and more protecting himself than hitting that ball.
Popper, that's going to be over the head of Miller. Eventually picked up by Dickerson. Cabrera stayed alive, fouled off a number of pitches, and managed to get it just over Miller's head.
Yeah, when things are going well, stuff like that falls in. Not like he put a good at bat. You know, he bought himself time is what he did, and ends up inside and out in this ball and just drops it over the head of Brad Miller out there with 2 outs.
Todd Frazier out on a little fly ball to right in the 2nd inning. That was against Snell, who got him on a pitch in, and he hit the little pop fly to right, caught by Montook. A ball, no strikes this time. 39 homers. Also 15 stolen bases for Frazier. So he's given them some power and picked up a few stolen bases along the way. Garton is behind him 2-0. Hits his bat, goes foul. 2-1. Leaves it up. 3-1. High popper. Miller is short under it in shallow center, moving to his left, and follows it into the mitt to retire the side. A man left. We go to the 5th. No score.
Scoreless. We're going to have a little late night version of our final Web Wednesday tonight. Right before the rain delay, we had a few questions we didn't get to. Here's the latest trio of questions. Daryl and Sue want to know if you guys think there will be an automated strike zone sometime in the future where there will be no real umpires, but that with technology there'll be balls and strikes called. Also, as Corey Dickerson fouls one off to start the inning. Back to you.
Okay. What else did we have? We have something else?
Yeah,
I had other stuff, but I think they said something happened with my audio.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's good now, so go ahead.
Okay. Well,
He quit.
We'll get back.
Todd quit.
No, he just didn't ask the question. He didn't quit. He just didn't ask the question.
Did you watch Office Space last night?
It's a 1-1 count here to Dickerson. He did say, by the way, that because of the rain, this is another semi-late night with the Rays edition.
How appropriate.
Yeah.
Last Web Wednesday, late night Web Wednesday. This could be a lot of fun. And Corey Dickerson on that swing right there, not feeling too good. And here comes Kevin Cash.
Dickerson fouled that one, and Kevin Cash looks him over.
Guys, I'm hearing there was no audio issue. I'm good.
You're good. Okay.
Yeah, I'm good. So here's the trio. We've got automated strike zone. Will we see that in the near future or in the future in general? That was Sue and Daryl. We have one from Ormond Beach, Florida. They want to know, they need a third-party candidate, and they want you and BA, Dwayne and BA, to be the third-party candidate. They're just wondering who should be the president and who should be the vice president of that duo. And Peggy wants to know if BA brought his DJ Kitty toothbrush holder with him on this trip. Guys, back to you.
Hey, there is a line drive, and it's going to be caught. Frazier, the lone defender on the left side of the infield, a low liner, and he makes the catch on that ball off the bat of Dickerson for the first out.
I'll throw my 2 cents out there real quick and then let you have the floor.
Okay.
So here's the deal. The answer to the first one, the automated strike zone, I hope not. I sure hope not. I like the idea, even though it's not perfect, I like the idea of umpires and the strike zones and calling balls and strikes and not having, you know, the automation. You know, maybe it's old school, maybe that's the way it's headed and that's the way it's going. I know it's been tried out in other leagues, independent leagues, but I hope it doesn't get to that point. Number two, of course Dwayne would have to be. You couldn't have me leading the ticket. I've got to be that guy behind the guy, because you just can't have me leading the way. And number three, I do not have my DJ Kitty toothbrush holder. It did not survive the trip.
It didn't.
It didn't.
Yeah. We could probably get another one, though, and maybe a couple reinforcements for the offseason. I think there might be 2 or 3 left at the warehouse.
Okay. That would be great.
Okay.
Yeah, and
so we'll solve that.
And as the vice president, let's just say this: as the vice president, I won't be vetted with the scrutiny that the president would be, and that's probably for the best of the ticket.
There's strike 3 call to Nick Franklin. 2 up and 2 down.
There you go.
And I'm not going to say a thing about that.
Well, you can. I'm your guy.
Yeah. See, I mean, it's all moving in the right direction. You just leave it alone. So 2 outs here. Hey, about the automatic strike zone, you're absolutely right. As a united front here of the 2 candidates, we're together on that. I love the umpires. There's a 1-hopper off the bat of Mikey Matuk, and Sanchez at second throws him out. More on all of that and more late night, as it turns out, on this rain-delayed evening from Chi-Town. the 5th inning here. A couple of rain delays in this game. The Roberto Clemente Award has a nominee from each MLB club to represent the game through extraordinary character, community involvement, philanthropy, and positive contributions. The Rays nominee, as you know, is Chris Archer. You can vote for him on social media. Use hashtag #VoteArcher on Twitter and Facebook. It's hashtag #VoteArcher on Twitter and Facebook. The Roberto Clemente Award. Javi Garcia will open the bottom of the 5th for the White Sox, and Eddie Gamboa is on the hill. He takes over for Ryan Garten. Garten followed Blake Snell. Snell pitched 2 2/3 and left after that long rain delay. Garcia sends a fly ball into right, or into left field. In comes Dickerson, and he makes the catch. So that first pitch skied to short left, and Dickerson grabs it.
Now Eddie Gamboa, a different type of pitcher. You know, we talked about his knuckleball. When you see the grip, it's not really even a knuckleball. It's almost a fingertip ball. It gets some spiraling action. There's no question about that. But he also will feature a breaking ball and a fastball that'll get up to 88 miles an hour or so. So he gives you a lot that you're going to have to cover here while he's out on the mound.
And it seems to me that first pitch is a strike. There's a little tilt to the way he grips that knuckleball. You see a lot of knuckleballers, you know, with the fingers up and using the tips of the fingers, but kind of straight on. And there's a little tilt to the way he holds the ball.
I think that's what gives it that spiraling action. The fact that it's on his fingertips, and then there's that tilt that you're talking about. That ball will kind of have some spin to it as it heads up towards home plate. But it's definitely a different grip than you've ever seen a guy hold a knuckleball. There's no doubt.
Sanchez takes a little pitch and chopped it back to the mound as Gamboa came up with it. It almost appeared that Gamboa, before he threw that ball to Schaefer, almost picked it up the way he throws the knuckleball. I think he had to change his grip before he made that little toss to Schaefer.
I think you're right. That wouldn't have been very fun.
Oh, fair. Catch that, yeah. Take a look at him. There's a little hesitation there.
Yep, knuckleball. Here I go. No, oh.
Well, perhaps that grip becomes second nature. It's going to be out of play. Schaefer over there, and Coates fouling it back. Well, Schaefer's made some outstanding defensive plays at first and third. Just not enough reach to gather that one.
Yeah, he made that nice catch over. You don't even want to say it wasn't even really over the shoulder. He was running straight out towards left field and caught it over the head. It was a tremendous catch, and we've seen some good feel with him over there at first base. You know, timing on pitches, being able to cover some ground there and make some difficult catches up the foul territory, the right field line.
The tap to third, fair. Longoria's throw to first. What, 1, 2, 3 inning for Gamboa. On to the 6th we go. No score. through the first 5. Our Toyota inside look. It's been a year of the long ball. You see in American League history, the highest percentage of runs scored via the home run. And the Rays on the board among the top 5 this year. They've hit, what, 48% of runs scored via the home run. 316 home runs out of 656 runs for the Rays.
There's a lot of numbers on that graphic.
Yeah, tough to break out. You know, that's the good news. The bad news is that no team in Major League history can match the Rays' combination of 214 home runs and 92 losses. And a big cut in the miss here by Richie Schaefer. So a lot more power, but not as much run production total as you would get. You can see the percentage of runs coming on home runs pretty high, but not the overall runs that the Rays would need. The Rays coming into tonight had scored 656 runs. Two 1 count on Schaefer. Schaefer sends a fly ball short right. Garcia toward the line, adjusts his route and makes the catch. That's the first out.
Well, what it points to is, you know what, the increase in home runs and a lot of power, that's not a bad thing. The bad thing has been the situational hitting. And when you look at the Rays' numbers, runners in scoring position, batting average, one of the worst in the game. You just look at game 1 of this series, where they were beat 7-1. They had opportunities almost in every inning, it seemed like. Runners on base all over the place, and just not able to move them and get them in. That's where they've fallen short. The home runs have been great. Too many have been solo, and situational hitting has been lacking.
Yeah, you're looking for good on-base percentage and hitting with men in scoring position.
Yeah. They've created, few chances relative to, the league. At one point here recently, they had the fewest ABs with runners in scoring position of any team in the American League. And oh, by the way, the lowest batting average on top of it. So you create fewer opportunities, you have a low average, well, you are going to look to be too reliant on the home run.
There's a base hit by Luke Maile up the left field line. Coates with the pickup. Maile's going to dig for 2, and he'll beat the throw in with the double. So Luke Maile with a 2-base hit, his 7th of the year.
Well, here you go. Here's your runner in scoring position with 1 out. Maile able to get on top of that ball and sneak it between the bag and Todd Frazier.
Second hit for the Rays. Schaefer had doubled in the 3rd, wound up in 3rd. And now a double by Maile here in the 6th. 1 on, 1 out for the top of the order, Logan Forsythe. The pitch is inside. The Rays second most in Major League Baseball in solo home runs, 135. One and one. And Logan Forsythe, who's been one of the top Rays hitters with men in scoring position, up there right now. Logan came in with an average of .311 with men in scoring position. Now it's 1 and 2. Rays facing Miguel Gonzalez. That's a little popper, shallow center with some hang time, and Garcia runs in under it to make the catch. Too much hang time to give that one a chance to fall in.
That ball got in a little bit on Logan, missed the barrel, and that soft contact, but here comes Leury Garcia. That ball get in there right off the label. That late action is what we've seen here tonight from Miguel Gonzalez. He's had a lively fastball, and he's been able to locate it on both sides of the plate.
Kevin Kiermaier. Tracks this one all the way in and low. Kevin now 3 of 16 in his career against Gonzalez. Strike, it's 1-1.
And that's the great example of it right there. Miguel Gonzalez has not been afraid to pitch in here tonight to both righties and lefties, but the main reason why is because he's been able to locate that fastball. He's got confidence going in.
Fly ball, center field. Gonzalez there for this one. So 3 fly ball outs in the 6th. The Rays leave a man at second, and we are still without a run. Bottom of the 6th inning in Chicago. With the Rays double play season ticket plan, fans receive the lowest price and the opportunity to choose from one of several can't buy big league experiences, including a chartered flight to Miami to see the Rays play, or a dinner at Ducky's hosted by Evan Longoria. Earn a double play today. Call 888-FAN-RAYS to talk with a Rays specialist. First pitch to Kevin Smith is a strike. Eddie Gamboa had a 1-2-3 fifth. He's followed Blake Snell and Ryan Garten to the hill. Fly ball lifted into center field. Kiermaier goes back, not yet to the track, and makes the catch. 400 to dead center here. That ball hit right back down the middle, but about 8 to 10 feet from the warning track in center. Rays have 2 hits. The White Sox have 2 hits. Here's the top of the order, Tim Anderson. pitch a little bit off the plate, says Ben May. Ground ball shortstop, glove by Miller. Throw on the move. 2 up and 2 down. Tonight's game with just 4 total hits. Last night there were 19 runs and 25 hits in that game. Taking the concept of no 2 games exactly alike to extreme tonight and last night, but a couple rain delays involved in this one. That's a strike to Garcia. You know, we're talking about that umpire question earlier. That's a human element to this game that's a must-have.
Yeah,
There's
I
just
agree.
no question about that. Big cut and a miss, 0-2. And we've seen, when you watch the game on a daily basis and follow it, as so many fans do, you're aware that umpires know the strike zone, but they all implement it a little bit different than the next umpire. And a swing and a miss. Garcia's out on strikes for the 2nd time. We head into the 7th, no score.
Taking a look at our Coors timeless moment. It is the ALDS Game 4 when B.J. Upton hit not 1 but 2 home runs as the Rays wrapped up that playoff series against the Chicago White Sox. We go on to face the Boston Red Sox in the ALCS and then the Philadelphia Phillies in the World Series 1 year after having the worst record in baseball. So that was the wrap up to that playoff series right here in Chicago against the White Sox, and the Rays would go on to celebrate an American League championship that year as Evan Longoria pops one up. Jose Abreu gives way, and the play is made by the second baseman Sanchez for the first out of the inning. Guys, more of our Web Wednesday here. Ask the Announcers, our final Web Wednesday of the year. One viewer wants to know about what you guys would look like if you switched hairstyles, so we'll get a chance to check in with that. Also, the latest on the stadium. Dennis wants to know if there's anything new on the stadium coming up in the offseason. Marianne wants to hear the story about the town in Turkey that you guys previewed last night.
Oh.
And finally, Anthony wants to know if you guys ate anything during the rain delay, and if not, if you're hungry. Back to you.
Here's Brad Miller, and he lost a high pop fly right side. Sanchez out there for this one from second and handles that one. So 2 pitches, 2 outs. That's 12 outs recorded by balls hitting the air off Gonzalez.
I will say this.
Oh, there's one answer to all that.
That's as disturbing. And what's with the wink? You talk about creepy. That guy on the left ought to be handcuffed, because that is creepy.
Yeah.
The guy on the right, you can do that.
I don't know.
Why not? You could pull that off. You look a lot meaner, but I just look like an absolute creepster.
And the strike to Corey Dickerson. Yeah, and with that, we'll just say goodnight.
Yeah,
close it right off.
I mean,
and see, it's brought rain, starting to rain again.
Is it really?
Yep, a little rainfall. Dickerson lifts a high fly ball back into center. Garcia is there and makes the catch. And so we go to the bottom of the 7th. That's a 4-pitch inning, and we have no score. Well, as you can see by that video review, a little rain tonight, and at the moment we've had an hour, a combined hour and 37 minutes of rain delay time and an hour and 37 minutes of actual game time. And the first pitch to Jose Abreu is in there for a strike. Bottom of the 7th inning is underway. Eddie Gamboa on the hill for the Rays. And that's a strike, 0-2. Abreu, Cabrera, and Frazier due up. Top of the inning was a 4-pitch inning. The pitch fouled. Still 2 strikes on Abreu.
The guys, both teams here, not wasting a whole lot of time, taking hacks at just about anything that floats up there, curves up there.
And there's a cut and a miss. Abreu out on strikes for the 2nd time.
Now, real quickly, in between or during the rain delay, I had half of a turkey sandwich and some veggies, whatever, that I brought, a little ranch
Very
dipping
healthy
sauce. But I'm looking at what you had, and I'm jealous.
Yeah, brat. Found a brat.
Yeah, but you dolled it up. I mean, you had some toppings on there. Like the toppings.
Down and in. A nice little relish on there.
Yeah, and some mustard.
Yeah, good combo.
Fries.
Yeah, a couple of those.
Good.
Yeah.
You threw the rest out, which I thought was kind of a bootleg move because I would have eaten them. But that being said, okay, now tell your story. You told me this story the other night while we were on the bus waiting for everybody to get on and head back to the hotel, and you told me about the story of the Turkish city of Izmir, and I found it fascinating.
Yeah, well, there's a foul ball out of play. I'm not sure how fascinating it really is, but I guess we were talking about finding directions in a city or something like that. And it was one of the more challenging experiences I had. I actually had rented a Russian car in Turkey just to drive around, see the countryside, wound up in Izmir. A little ground ball right side, and Forsythe handles that. Cabrera's out of there. Izmir, Smyrna, has been around for a long time, and a lot of those cities in that part of the world were at one point nothing more than villages. Goats are a staple there of life in many ways, and they tend to wander and make these pathways. Well, the city streets of Izmir were not laid out in a grid. They followed the goat paths and wound up paving a large number of their cities, or a large number of their streets in the city were paved goat paths, really. And they were wandering, crisscrossing and all. And the only way you knew where you were, because all the signs were in Turkish, so they're not English. And you're driving around in traffic. The water, the sea was on one side, so you had to keep that. There was a foul ball out of play by Todd Frazier. You wanted to make sure, as a frame of reference, you knew which side the water was on, and you could sort of negotiate your way through.
But they just were interwoven and all over the place.
That's right.
So there was no like, hey, you go up here, you take a right, should be on your left.
Long one down the line and left. That ball will carry out. Gone. And that's the 40th home run of the year for Todd Frazier. It comes on a 1-2 pitch and gives the White Sox a 1-0 lead. Well, Frazier, who's had a great year, he can be streaky and has been on a good streak here lately. 6th in the league in home runs, and now he has 40.
Well, 12-game hitting streak now, and what a way to get it. This home run right here, it was the knuckleball, the fingertip ball. He is just the 7th White Sox in history to hit 40 home runs, and there it was, a blast.
Xavi Garcia. So there you go. Frank Thomas 5 times, Albert Bell on that list, and Paul Konerko, Jermaine Dye, Jim Thome, Adam Dunn, and now Todd Frazier joins the list. One the count to Garcia. A 2-out home run on a 1-2 count. Half of those 40 home runs, by the way, have come on some variation of a 2-strike count. Now it's 3-1 to Javi Garcia. Garcia draws the walk. So with 2 outs, a home run, now a walk. Carlos Sanchez, switch hitting second baseman, walks to the plate. Maley and Gamboa, a little conversation on the hill. The White Sox score first on the home run. Pitch is a strike. Sharply hit foul down beyond Darrell Boston, the first base coach. 0-2. First, Garcia's back in. A couple of big men right there in Boston and Garcia. Toward the left field corner. That ball will be a foul ball. Just foul. Had enough slice on it to serve the Rays' interest. A foul ball as Dickerson could not get over there.
That was close too. Off the bat, looked like trouble. Let's take a look. That ball coming down about a foot, 6 inches. Enough.
Punched into center. That's going to fall, a base hit. Up to second goes Garcia. So home run, walk, and now a single. Jason Coates about to step in. Well, Coates has fared well, as we mentioned earlier tonight. He's fared well against left-handed pitching. Now a right-handed knuckleballer out there.
We have no data on that.
Hard to establish a trend on knuckleballers. Most managers, if they have a knuckleball pitcher on their staff, they just let him go out and do whatever he's going to do.
Yeah, how do you coach that up?
Yeah, and I don't know if you go to the mound, your pitching coach goes to the mound. What do you say to a knuckleball?
Make it float. Yeah, I have no idea. No idea how you would coach those guys up.
Forsythe throws out Coates. We go to the 8th. Through 7, 1-0 Chicago. Yeah, how strange that turns out to be. First pitch is a strike call to Nick Franklin. And I don't think Nick's very happy about that call. He's called out on strikes in the 5th. And down a strike here in the 8th. Let's see where that pitch was. And this one he goes after and lofts a fly ball into center. Garcia puts it away. So another fly ball out. Well, here's what's coming up tomorrow on Rays Live, the pregame show presented by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. Chris Archer will be on the hill for the Rays. We'll hear from him, and Orestes will break down Melky Cabrera and the year he has had here in Chicago. Another productive year for Cabrera. Mikey Matuk fouls one out of play for a strike. The last 7 outs recorded by Gonzalez have come on balls hit into the air. Montook is behind. 2 strikes. I mean, here's Gonzalez dealing out there. He went 90 pitches or 90 minutes between pitches. 90 minutes. There's his breakout. 14 fly ball outs. And now he strikes out Montook. 2 gone.
Well, you know, he's, like I said, he's a veteran. You know how to keep yourself ready. You know what you need to do to get ready to go back out there. You know, these rain delays, it's now all about, you know, so many of these pitchers, young pitchers, high ceiling guys, you know, they're protected. You know, they're protected. And so, you know, you don't see many guys going out there. If the rain delay is longer than 20 minutes, 30 minutes, forget it. The starter's coming out of the game. That's just the way it is. But that's not how it used to be. I mean, it used to be if you felt good enough to go back out there, I don't care how long it was, you went back out there. Well, I mean, was it the smartest thing all the time? Probably not. But you knew how to handle those situations, and that is what Miguel Gonzalez, being a veteran who's been around the game for a long time, is able to do. And that's why he's back out there and still effective.
Well, he's ahead of Schaefer. 2 strikes before this at bat. He had gotten 6 outs on 10 pitches.
And not wasting any time going right after him.
Fly ball, a little popper actually, right side. That's going to be handled by Sanchez. So another quick inning on that high pop. Schaefer's out of there. Bottom of the 8th coming. 1-0. Ball on Fox Sports Sun, brought to you by Ram Trucks. Guts, glory, Ram. By Kubota. For more information, go to FloridaKubotaDealers.com. And by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. From Chicago, it's a 1-0 ball game on a home run by Todd Frazier. His 40th of the year. And we're headed into the bottom of the 8th. Danny Farquhar, pitcher number 4 for the Rays. Gamboa gave the Rays 3 innings, gave up a run on the Frazier home run, couple of hits, and now it's Farquhar. Kevin Smith, the catcher, leads off to face the right-hander. Ball, no strikes. Fouled into the screen, 1-1. 9-hitter leading off, and there's a cut and a miss. Smith is out on strikes. Farquhar picks up the 8th strikeout for Ray's pitching and the first out in the 8th.
Falling victim to that changeup, and that's really the reemergence of Danny Farquhar. You can trace it to that pitch becoming more consistent, for him being able to get a lot of action on it late, and it's become a true swing and miss strikeout pitch.
It's inside to Tim Anderson. Shoots it into center field. Kiermaier tries to cut it off, but it's going to roll to the wall. Anderson on his way to second with a double. A 1-out, 2-base hit, his 21st double of the year. He had a single-double home run last night. And a double here in the 8th inning with 1 out tonight.
That ball was popped pretty good by Tim Anderson, and you saw initially Kevin Kiermaier is trying to get over there to cut it off, maybe try to hold him for a single, but it was just hit too hard, gets to the wall, and White Sox looking to add on.
Let's go, Garcia!
Garcia, big cut and a miss for a strike. A ball and a strike to count. Farquhar trying to keep it a 1-run game in the bottom of the 8th. It's a strike on the outside edge. Doing back there. Anderson back in. Rays in the 9th due to have Luke Maile lead off, then Logan Forsythe and Kevin Kiermaier. 2-2.
Let's go, Jose!
Oh, he's hit by that pitch. Farquhar hits Garcia. Wow.
Yeah. That's interesting. That ball almost shot in behind him. And that's one of those hit by pitches that gets everybody's attention, because when you do that, you start to wonder what the motive is, if there is any. That's a
the Rays conference on the hill with Garcia going to first. Anderson at second here with 1 out. Jose Abreu due up. Abreu 0 for 3 tonight. Goes for the first pitch and skies it down the right field line. Foul ball, and that will be caught by Montook. Runner tried to advance, and he will, as Anderson goes to third after the catch. Montook a nice grab down there in foul territory to retire Abreu.
Boy, it certainly was. Not an easy ball to get to for either one of them, Schaefer or Montook. And look at that. And pop right up and make the throw, but Tim Anderson back on second base, tagging up immediately.
Now first and third, 2 gone, and it's Melky Cabrera.
Go, Melky!
Cabrera had a base hit in the 4th. Which is a strike. Broken bat and a roller to second. Forsythe handles that to retire the side. No runs. 2 left. We go to the 9th. Rays down 1-0. Miguel Gonzalez still out there on the hill. He has thrown 14 consecutive strikes and has retired 8 in a row.
Now he's been extremely efficient and very sharp with his stuff. Using both sides of the plate with great effectiveness. We've seen good late action. We've seen good velocity.
94 pitches, and Luke Maile tries to put down a bunt and fouls it. No walks, 4 strikeouts. Tapper foul right at the feet of the catcher, Kevin Smith. So Gonzalez pitching into the 9th inning of this rain-delayed game. And he strikes out Maile. So it's 17 consecutive strikes thrown by Miguel Gonzalez.
And getting 8 outs. That's the thing. 17 straight strikes, 8 outs among them. That little slider, cutter, almost a little hybrid pitch right there, just taking it off the plate. He has been outstanding here tonight. This is probably the best that we've seen him thus far. Ray's running out of chances.
It's a foul ball by Forsythe. One career complete game for Gonzalez. And that stops the streak at 18 consecutive strikes before he missed on that pitch to Forsythe. strike, 1-2. In 2014 with Baltimore, Gonzalez threw a shutout against Cincinnati. That's his other complete game.
Hey, Logan! Wait!
It's now 2-2.
Let's go, Miguel! You got this!
Kiermaier on deck.
Wait!
Ground ball. There's a base hit into left. So Forsythe has himself a base hit. And the Rays will pick up their third hit of the game, and that's going to bring Robin Ventura out of the dugout. 1 on with 1 out. He's had David Robertson up in the bullpen. So a pitching change coming here for the White Sox. We'll be back in a moment.
In the top of the ninth, down 1-0. We're going to wrap up our Web Wednesday, our final Web Wednesday of the year. Nice job by the fans getting creative. And guys, you must know that along with all the questions, many thanks and voicing their gratitudes towards the broadcast you guys did all season long from the fans. And tip my cap to you guys as well. Final question from Joanne and Jeffrey with your offseason starting in 5 days. What are you most looking forward to after the season's over, guys? Back to you.
All right, thank you. And we send our best to the fans too for all the questions and comments. It's always fun to involve the fans, and we have a great appreciation for them as well.
Without them, Dwayne, we are nothing.
That's exactly right.
Truly.
David Robertson, a ground ball to Anderson off the bat of Kiermaier, and that's going to end it. One pitch and a double play.
Well, and I'll say this, a heck of a job by Miguel Gonzalez. David Robertson making quick work. That's the only way you're going to get Kiermaier. And to answer that last question, quality time with the kids.
Yep, that's it. Yep, family. You get a chance to see your family on a regular basis, kids and grandkids alike, and we're looking forward to that. It's going to be great to get an opportunity to see them. Great question all night and all season long, and we appreciate it. And you got to give Gonzalez credit for Chicago tonight. He pitched through a rain delay, went 90 minutes between pitches during that rain delay, and came back to throw 8 1/3 innings tonight to pick up the win. And so the White Sox defeat the Rays 1-0, 1-5-0 for Chicago with 6 left for the Rays. No runs, 3 hits, and no errors. Gonzalez will get the win. He is 5-8 on the year. Gamboa, who gave up the home run in the 7th inning to Todd Frazier, is the losing pitcher. 12,976 on hand.